Yeah. So we were supposed to be talking about data frame, and even before that, there is something that we did not cover, and that is how to install packages, right? And that is something that we might also need to review. And for you, how to install packages, you use the what we call the install.packages. So you can write down function install.packages. Yeah, this one. And then you now pass in the name of the package you want to install. So for example, I want to install a package called skimmr, because this packages helps you in achieving whatever it is you want to do in R. And so that is install.packages skimmr, and then you can see one or more packages to be updated are currently loaded. The setting R. So maybe do you want to? Yeah, the package that I want to install is it has already been installed. So that is basically what it is telling me. But if you want to install, for example, something like maybe tidyverse, right? Yeah, tidyverse is a collection of packages. You can see maybe a schema that I wanted to install has been successfully installed, right? Tidyverse also is a collection of packages like dplyr and string R. ggplot is also there. You can see I've also maybe successfully installed tidyverse. So if I load maybe tidyverse, before you start using maybe a package, you have to call it. So that is what we call, I'm loading it using the library function. That is, so while loading it, you don't use the quotes, right? And so library, and if we check here, you can see there is dplyr, there is forecasts, there is ggplot 2, and then there's lubridate, this one for manipulation of dates. There's readr, there's string R, there's table, then there's tidyr. So this is more of like cleaning untidy data. And also there is what again? You can see maybe conflicts dplyr filter, and there's dplyr filter, and then there's dplyr lag. But anyway, that is not a problem as such, like with the conflicts. More of development of dplyr filter and also dplyr lag. Yeah, so that is how you can load packages, or you can use this one to go to tools, install packages, right? You can also even check for package updates. So if you click here, install packages, here you will just be writing name. For example, you just write tidyverse this way without having to put the quotes. And then here is where you can even specify where it is going to be stored. But by default, it is going to be stored in C users, app, data, local, Arwin, and such like stuff. And then you click on install, right? Install from repository. This is like the online repository for R documents. You can install it from there, right? And then you click on install. So I'm not going to install it again because that is something that I had already installed. Or you can go to plots here, not plots, but packages here, and then you can see several packages. So of course, for me, I have installed quite a number of packages. You can see there's a janitor package. If you have not installed it, yeah, you can see for me, mine has already been installed, like library, the janitor. So if I click on it, that is more of like calling it. You can see library janitor. But if you want to install maybe using this section, you can just click on install R packages. Then you have to know like which package do I want to install, right? If I want to update, I need to check, right? Package installed, and then available. You can see maybe CPP 11 available is 0.46, but what is installed is 0.45. So I may need to update them, right? Per 1.01, but then there is 1.02 that is already available. Our markdown, what I have is 2.24.3, and what is available is 2.25. I can click here to say install updates, right? And our markdown will now start installing, right? So you can also update there. Yeah, you can see that that is maybe how to install the packages. That is something that we did not look at. Yeah, so if you look at maybe our markdown right now and see if we have any update that is coming through, you can see that it has been removed from so that was our markdown. Then there is also another one called markdown, right? This one, even our markdown now is not available here. Yeah, because I've already updated it. You can even update this one. So or I can just select all of them and then do what you call an update. Yeah. Yeah, and then click install updates. Yeah, that's it. And another thing also, yeah, we mentioned loading a package and things like that, and then that is achieved. So you were talking about maybe data frames initially, and this is just a recap on how to create a data frame. So, for example, data frame, of course, you have to give it a name, students, and then use the data.frame, right? Data.frame, and then you start passing in the contents. So, for example, column number one called registration number, it is going to be containing maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, the registration number, it can be something else, maybe I63, I63 stroke 4177 stroke 2025, right? Like, I mean, the year that you joined. Different universities use different criteria, or this one can be like employee ID, right? So different companies also will be using different. So this one you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then now the age equaling to 21, 22, 36, 28, 19, year one, year two, year and year mpaka, so year one, year two, year six, year two, year three, right? And for string, you have to put them in quotation, right? So if registration number had a component, maybe letters also, then it was supposed to be in quotation, because now it's no longer, it's more of like it's a mixture of both numbers and letters, right? So if it becomes a mixture that way, then you have to put it in quotes, because it's now like a character variable, right? And then you add maybe the quotes that, so this one was just information on students. Then when you end it here, you have to ensure that you have the matching brackets, right? Are matching with the other one. This one that is here. This was the first bracket, and then now you start including. Ensure that you have a comma here, a comma after every column, all right? So again, now you can you run that function, and then you'll see it here. I've run it. You'll see that now we have 5 students. Let me run it, and you see. So you can see that I have students with five observations of 4 variables. 5 observations in the sense that you have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because these are supposed to be registration number of distinct students, right? So you can have that 5 observations of 4 variables. 4 variables, we have registration number, age, year. So you can click on view students. You can view students here. View students, and then you can see information, registration number, age, year. This is something that you can do if you have maybe a questionnaire and you want to populate information into R, or you can use this one, or you can use maybe the Excel and then just import. Another thing, maybe we may want to add another column, like maybe name. So you'll be writing students and then $ name, and then now pass information. Eric Njuki, Wafula, Nafula, Chingo Neko, and the likes. And then you add it, you'll see now students changes to 5 observations of 5 variables, right? And if you try to add, so these ones we had 5 observations, and now maybe I want to add more than 5. I want to add like 6 observations for the student, maybe Brian, and try to add it. It will tell you that the one that you are trying to bring in is 6 rows, but the data has 5 rows. So that is a problem. And even if you try to add less, let me remove maybe Bosiri and Brian and such like stuff, and then the replacement has 4 rows, data has 5, so it has to match. That is something that you also have to be keen about. Another thing also is now maybe how to bring in import data into R. Yeah, you can use the read.csv to import your data, right? And what you have to do is to just go and into your, even before that. So before you import any data, of course you have to give it a name. How R is going to know this data, right? So I want to bring in a data called avocado. So go in and bring and write maybe the name avocado. You can write it a different name, maybe even X or Y or something, right? Provided it's a name. So we are using the read.csv because we want it to be a CSV file, right? So when importing data into R, the first thing that you have to know is what is the path of that document that I'm trying to bring in, right? You have to follow the path. So the same way when we are talking about creating working directory, there is how we created a working directory, and maybe I want to find this document called hotel bookings. So the main path I'll follow is maybe I'll just copy this for the hotel bookings. I have this data called hotel bookings, and then you want to bring it into R. So maybe I'll write hotel, and then I use read.csv, and then in brackets, and I'll now use double quotes, right? It's in documents, but I'll add this thing called this one. It is supposed to be in users HP documents, right? So it is in documents, and then maybe I'll add something like the name of that file inside that document. You'll see that it is hotel bookings. So hotel bookings.csv, right? If you write that, yeah, you can see it has loaded because it has loaded here. There is no error, right? So you first go and copy the same way we located the path when you are creating a working directory. So go to your, get the path of the data that you want to load, right? Yeah, so that is how you do it. Maybe that is hotel bookings data, and then you have to ensure you add this .csv. So maybe the path that you contain, it is going to be ending up to this point, right? This one, you have to add the stroke, the data that you want to bring, right? And now there's this argument called header equaling to true. That means that the first row, if you say header is equaling to true, that means that the first row of your data is the headers of the columns, right? The first row of your data is the headers of the columns, right? Header equaling to true. If I write header equaling to false, then it means that the first row is not the first It's not the header of our columns, right? Sep, that is the separating. What is separating our data? Our data, of course, is it's comma separated, right? So that's where I'll have it as sep is equaling to, then it's separated by a comma. This is the main thing you're focusing on, comma, right? And also, just to confirm, maybe your data is separated by space, right? Or your data is separated by hyphen, or your data is separated by maybe period, right? Yeah, but you may just want to have it as comma separated, right? Yeah, that's that. And the tail, so when that is done, you just run it, right? And then you have your data. Yeah, that is that. So for you to see maybe what you have loaded, I loaded a data called housing data here. You just write view housing data, or go to this place and click it once, where the global environment. You can just see this one and click it once. Or maybe I want to see the hotel, I want to see the house data, um, or I want to see the students data. I just click this here. So I've already clicked, and then you can see I clicked students here. I can click even this one for tooth growth. You can see it is already like bringing in whatever information you want in form of this table now, right? You can click here, or you can just write view. So you can just write view students, right? And then to do that, you can see the information about students populating, right? Yeah. Another thing is we can also, yeah, I believe this ones we've talked about, and now we can explore different kinds of data sets that are available in R. For you to see that, you just write data, then data, then the brackets. If you click that, you can see air passengers, BJ sales, and the Dinase, and all these are data, air quality, and Scombe, Faithful, Old Faithful, and Iris, Islands, Eldets, Notem, Sunspot, and there are so many data that we have here, diamonds and the likes, and even presidential data sets, and fruit, sentences, words. I think those are data sets that you can see. So if you want to see maybe a certain data set, of course, there's a data set called msleep view, and we have talked about view so much. Genus, for order, for you to maybe yeah, okay, sleep cycle, awake. Maybe you don't know what these columns mean. You can just come here and question mark and then msleep, right? If you do that, you run it, you can see on this side, it is telling you msleep is a data frame with 83 rows and 11 variables. Name, common name. Genus, and then we have a vo. Vo is either, is it a carnivore, omnivore, or herbivore? Then order, conservation, then the conservation status of the animal. Conservation status of the animal. This one here. Is it domesticated? The other one, LC, they have not specified. But yeah, sleep total. Then this is just the total amount of sleep in hours. Then you can go that way with everything, maybe even up to body weight. But this is body weight in kilograms. That is how you can get more information about the dataset that you're working in. You can even view another one called empty cars, and then you have all this information about the specific data, and maybe you want to see more about empty cars, right? And then you can see empty cars. It's the data extracted from 1974 Motor Trend US magazine, and you can see all that information there about every specific variable. There's a data called presidential, and then you can see what presidential is talking about. And if you want more information about presidential, then it's the names of each president, the start and end date of their term, and their party and their party of 12 years presidents from Eisenhower to Trump. This data is in the public domain, right? Yeah, such like that. We can look at even just some basic summaries when using your data set, right? Basic summaries now. Yeah. If there's one called head. So for example, let's use something like presidential. Of course, this avocado data, we loaded it and you can see that it is available here, avocado. So let's first use head avocado. Head gives you like the first six entries. The first six. Unaona number 0, 1. Let's view that avocado first. And you can see, so it is going to give you number 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first six data, or the first six entries, all the columns present there. You can see average price hadi 1.26 mpaka number 1.26. It will go all the way this way, the first six, right? That is the head. Tail is the opposite. It will give you the last six information that you want, right? And you have here 1820, 18244, 18235. So it is going to give you the last bit down here. It is going to give you this information going up. So we have 11, 10. So it will start from 6, 7, 8 going down, right? All the information that is present here up to the last part. So this is information. It's what it is giving you. That is tail, right? We can also use what you call summary also. So summary is going to give you like you can see here, for example, if you have numeric variables, it is giving us the minimum value, it is giving us the first quartile, we are having the median, mean, third quartile, maximum value for our avocado. When it comes to date, like there's this column called date. Of course, it cannot summarize date in this way. It is going to give you the length, the total number of entries that we have, and what is the class of that date. It is character, right? Yeah, and also maybe total volumes. I think total volume also it's numeric, so it can give you all those measures of the central tendency, right? The means and the likes. I think there is also something called a glimpse. You can have a look at glimpse and try to see what is the difference between summary and a glimpse. And you can see that for glimpse, it is giving you the data and also the type, right? What is the type of data that you have here? All right, you can see here date, it is telling us it is a character, right? Average price, it is a double, like that is a numeric, right? Total volume, similar, and all that up to region, which is also character, Albany and such like stuff. So, and again here it is giving you like sample information, as long as it can fill it across what you are viewing. So if I resize this and then run glimpse again, you can see now it has populated it up to where I can see, right? It is giving you like a sample. You can see here 31, It has given me up to number 31 for date. Of course, date it's very long, so it cannot give me 31 values. Yeah, that is that. And then you can do maybe something like let's do a summary of presidential. Yeah, presidential. Yeah, you can see name length 12. We have total a number of 12 presidents. Class character. Start date, it's 1953. First quadrant, first quartile is 1967. Median, 1979. Mean, and things like that. Similar to end. All right. Um, you can do something like maybe getting the mean. Now let's do like some simple, like maybe mean. I want to get the mean of this one. Avocado total bags. So this total bags column, right? Total bags column. You can just write mean avocado and then so you can so avocado. And for you to call the specific column, you use the moment you do a dollar sign, it will tell you which column do you want to use. Maybe I want to use small bags. You can see the mean is 18.2147. Maybe you want to use a different kind of a bag. Which one? You want to use maybe uh, ear type, X large bags. Let's see. Yeah, for mean of large bags is 3106.427. That is the same to what you had for X large bags. You can see 3106.4, right? Yeah, 0.427, 0.4. So that. That is just a basic summary of that. Um, there's also something that you can do. I hope you have installed a Scheme R, because you can also scheme your scheme your data without charts. So for example, Scheme R, and then I use maybe scheme without charts, and then avocado, and then could not find function scheme without charts. That is because called I've not called scheme R, right? So I first have to run this library, right? And then scheme without charts. Now I can scheme successfully. So that is why I skipped this library bit, so that you understand. Even if you have it installed, first call it, right? Call that function that you want. So if you skim without charts, you can see that it gives you a high-end summary, right, of your data. So for example, here, data summary, it's telling us the name of the data is called avocado. The number of rows is 18 to 49, and the number of columns 14. Number two, column type and then frequency. The columns that are character type, we have 3, and those ones that are numeric, we have 11. You understand? Then it goes from there, now goes to group variables, right? It goes to scheme variable like date. So we have date, type, and region. They are the 3 data that are of character type. So it first looks at them. Do we have any missing value? 0. Complete rate? 1. What is the minimum value for date, or the minimum characters for date? It is 10. The maximum number of characters for date, it is 10. Do you have any empty? No. Number of unique? 169. 169 unique. That means that maybe date ya leo na date ya jana. But of course, we have 18 to 49. So there are those dates that have been, those data that were collected on the same date. So if you are collected on the same date, it's not unique, right? So we are just picking specific values or maybe specific dates. And then you can see maybe region, complete rate, and minimum for 19 and things like that. Variable type, So it comes from character and now goes to numeric, right? Or goes to maybe the first one, which is first column, which is X. Because it didn't have a name. This one, X. It is a column with the range of 0 to 5 to 5. Do you have any missing value? 0. What is the mean? 24.2. What is the standard deviation? 15.5. Percentile, I believe this should be percentiles. P25 up to P100. And then goes through total volume, goes through total bags, and even gets you the means and the likes. Large bags gets you all those information. This is the standard deviation and such like. So that is what even scheme R helps you in. Scheme R helps you in just skimming through your data. So you use what you call skim without charts. The moment you start typing, so you start skim underscore without charts. You can see here skim without charts, right? These are the things that you can use. The moment you type skim, you can see all this. It is coming from skim R package. Yeah. Another thing maybe this, for this one mean or even medium, these are things that we've talked about there. So mean, you have to call the specific column. Then you have this. You have to call again the specific column. So the median and things like that. You can run median, and then you will see the median of avocado total volume is 107,376.8. If you write mode, because you want to get the recurrent number, try to see, for example, here, write even mode of avocado total. Avocado total, maybe total bags, right? And control enter it, you'll see that it's telling you that numeric. So mode tells you the internal storage mode of the object, not the value that occurs the most in its argument. You get it? That mode tells you the internal storage mode. Internal storage mode. How is it stored? It is stored as numeric. So, for example, that avocado, it's stored as numeric, right? This is just more on installation of packages, right? After installing a package, of course, this one should be coming fast before library desk tool. You install, after installing, then call it, and then you can now do whatever it is that you want to do with your packages, right? Yeah, so this is just a basic summary of the inbuilt datasets, right? We have built-in datasets by R. There are so many of them. You can even use them for your practice, right? And another thing, you can see there's something here that I wrote. So suppose maybe looking at the presidential, we want to see like how many days did they spend. For example, how many days did Eisenhower spend? How many did Johnson and even the JF Kennedy? How many days did he spend? All right. And that is where you use the diff time. There's this function, just type diff time. Diff time, so that is like time intervals or time difference. You can see here, time 1, time 2, you use comma, time 1, time 2, and then you use the units. Do you want it in days? Do you want it in weeks? It cannot be in years. So diff time, you can use the diff time, and now maybe presidential. which column do you want to subtract? You want to subtract like when did the term end minus when did it start. You don't use minus here this way. You don't use minus here this way, right? You don't use that minus. You use this. So presidential start, and then the units. I want it maybe in terms of days. If I click Control Enter, Eisenhower spent 2922. JF Kennedy took 1036 days, right? So 1036, and you can see the last one here, Trump took 1461 days. Yeah. So that is in terms of number of days. So JF Kennedy died maybe 425 days less than Trump. So he was about maybe left with 1 year and close to a quarter year again before he passed away. Right. And yeah, so that is that. You can even use hours. How many hours did they spend? And you can see the number of hours spent here. You can even write the amount of time they spent in seconds. You can see there are those who spent the same amount because they took the same number of time. If it is two terms, for example, Obama, you can see Obama here, and you can see also with this Bush, you can see Clinton, right? And then yeah, that one, and you can see Eisenhower spending that amount of because he went two terms, and that is how you can walk through subtracting and manipulating like when your data sets and such stuff. So that's it for just a brief on data frames, because you have to know how to construct the data frames, and now how do you skim through your data, right? How do you just have a sneak peek of your data? Yeah. So that's it, and that is an introduction to what you can do with the data that you have.